Hello, everyone. It is time for the daily update from the Republican Party of Arizona. I am your chairwoman, Dr. Kelly Ward. I'm going to give you the latest news on the full forensic audit of the Maricopa County general election. And first thing is that the machine recount of the ballots is complete. Now, if you remember, the audit team conducted a full hand count of the nearly 2.1 million ballots just a few weeks ago. Then, as a double check, maybe a triple check, they brought in machines that count the actual number of paper ballots. Not Dominion machines that tabulate votes, but paper counting machines that count pages. They did this double, triple check of the number of pieces of paper used in the 2020 election. The ballots are currently being returned to Maricopa County, and they are being transferred to the county treasurer's office since the auditors are finished with this portion, the evaluation of the paper ballots. Now, I want you to know that this is completely normal. The county treasurer is the final legal custodian of ballots as required by Arizona state law. The audit team is working on their analysis and on their report. Well, as much as they can do based on the information the Senate's received in response to their fully legal legislative subpoena, what they've received so far from the county. Now, the Senate had to issue new subpoenas in the last couple of days, and we're looking forward to the audit team processing the information that we must get from those new subpoenas. It includes some old data and new. Voters deserve and demand a full audit shining a light on the good and on the bad in the 2020 election. These new subpoenas require that the routers or the information from them, including the Splunk logs, the ballot envelopes themselves, or at least the images of them, and all passwords, access keys, and tokens required to examine the tabulating machines be turned over to the Arizona State Senate by August 2nd. Maricopa County said they don't have access to those tokens and they don't have those passwords. Only their election vendor does. That's why the state Senate, wisely, in my view, has subpoenaed Dominion, the voting machine vendor. It may be why Dominion has spent the months between the election and today threatening anyone who dares to mention their name or who questions what they did or didn't do during the 2020 election. They've been trying to chill this. Their very own documents state that their systems are fully auditable. In fact, it is one of the 4 main points they use to sell their products to counties, states, and other unsuspecting people. If they're so proud of what they do, why are they obstructing this at every turn? What are they actually hiding? Meanwhile, at the same time, while all this is going on, the former Maricopa County recorder, radical liberal Democrat Adrian Fontes, who now works in elections in Pima County, that sounds safe, and who would love to control the whole shebang as your next Secretary of State, he appeared before a congressional committee. Of course, the committee, which swamp scum Democrats run, let him bloviate about how we don't need to examine our elections process. It's perfect in his opinion. Anyone who believes that should never be anywhere near the office of Secretary of State. And by the way, we cannot and we will not let that happen. I think Fontes should have been asked something like this. Mr. Fontes, why are there thousands of duplicated ballots? The ballots made when an original ballot is just too damaged to run through a Dominion machine. Why? Why, Mr. Fontes, don't each of these ballots have a matching serial number that matches the original ballot? After all, Mr. Fontes, state law in Arizona requires that. And if you don't believe me about that state law, you can look it up in Arizona Revised Statutes, Section 16621. If there are any fact checkers out there who want to dispute the law, let me know. Even the Arizona Elections Procedures Manual, published by another radical leftist Democrat, Katie Hobbs, that manual requires it. It's on page 202. Look it up, fact checkers. Do you think that those members of Congress or their lapdog media would ever ask him something substantive like that, let alone want to hear what his answer would be to that question. We know they wouldn't, but I know you would, and so would I. Now, last but not least, and I know this is a long update, but please stick with me. The fake news media is trying to make a story out of private groups helping to fund costs associated with the audit. Now, the media first called the audit a Republican audit. Wrong. Then they worked to mislead the public by belittling the audit, belittling the auditors, and even attacking the Arizona State Senate by calling it a fraudit. Wrong again. They celebrate silencing social media accounts related to the audit. Now today they are big mad. They're big mad because people just like you have contributed to groups who will not allow our elections to be stolen. And those groups are making sure that the audit team has the equipment and the manpower needed to make sure that this audit is completed and that they're well prepared to audit elections all over our country. No wonder there's so much fear. Now, we want election integrity, and the press wants to gaslight America. It is just plain wrong. So we will continue this fight, and we will finish America's audit in Maricopa County, and we look forward to America's audits with an S in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and more. Never forget, here at the Republican Party of Arizona, we will not stop in the effort to restore confidence in our elections right here. And right here, it is always America first. I'll see you next time.